I get it now. Well, so that's the one that you didn't do.
Oh man, my belt's coming up. Son of a.
I can't help with that. Okay, we're on 180.
You're lucky you don't have a frame on the window because
Good Lord. I should do yoga.
That makes sense.
What up, guys? It's a prop video for week 6. We had to shoot from a car, and after we talk about the car a little bit, there's an activator with some no shoots. Quite a bit going on the screen there. A couple of things that I really wanted to point out, so I'm just going to let it run real quick, and then we'll talk about it. So watching that, you see right off the bat a couple things that are going on. Let me get to the point where right about here where the buzzer goes off. You can see in the upper left-hand corner there, Zoe standby has already been given at this point, and you can see a difference already. Everyone down the right-hand side is eyes on target, finger prepping the trigger. All right, all 4 of those guys. Eric in the middle top also. Myself, which is left hand middle also. Jeff also. Shane is left-handed, so you can see he's prepping the trigger. So it's Zoe upper left and Caden in the middle there are the 2 that aren't really ready. So you can see dramatically different from the get-go just on those couple guys. Caden, I think, needs to have, it sighted in. It's a weird kind of thing because most of the time you're starting with your pistol holstered and all that kind of stuff. When you're not holstered and you're inside a prop or with your, pistol outside of your holster but in your hand, you're allowed to be ready to shoot unless the stage says something else. So pretty much everyone that shoots on a regular basis is aimed, ready to go on that target. So it's just one of those learning things. So just kind of dragging by this a little slow, you can see how fast everyone on the left there kind of rips off a shot compared to a couple of the other people. So just something to keep in mind. The next section is dismounting the car. So I got us lined up after our last shot. So once again, all the people on the right-hand side there, they're all, experienced shooters. You can see the difference. Eric on top of me there in the middle. Right as soon as that last shot is done, you kind of whip your head around, look for that door. You're pointing your gun downrange as much as possible, looking for that door handle, and you'll see all those doors kind of come up, all ready for that, and you're going to have to get out. So most of us had a leg or something on the door to kick it out, and those doors come out pretty much the same there. You see Zoe's had to hunt for it a little bit. Jeff didn't do too bad down there. Caden, but just being prepared for that, you can kind of tell. And these little things only save you a fraction of a second, but if you have props that kind of add up when you're going throughout the whole stage. Unfortunately, this is pretty difficult setup for a left-handed guy. Shane, middle bottom, ends up DQing here. You can kind of see that he pulls his hand in to go for the door and really just kind of bites it right there. We ended up having to send him to Dairy Queen over that one. But it's a pretty rough go. I mean, honestly, he had a couple options there where he could have pointed the gun up, either level or, just pointing it up and out the window. Or he also, could have being left-handed, he could have put it in his right hand and went down for the, right there, he could have left it in his right hand and then just reached his hand down to open up the door. But that would have been uncomfortable as well. It was just kind of a rough spot for a left-handed guy, and he just didn't get it worked out, unfortunately. Of course, after getting the door open, there's nothing you can do. I mean, everyone's a little bit different. You see Amy just shoots out of there like a rocket. That's almost like a full-size car for her. And then you look down at freaking poor Jeff and Sam, and you know, that's a small car for Jeff. It's all right, brother. You're doing great. So after the car was an activator. So I kind of got us all lined up when we hit the activator. There's a couple different things I like to look at when you do an activator. Some people do a tap technique. You see Eric actually in the top does the tap technique. When it comes up, taps it and brings his foot back. Caden also takes his foot off. Zoe's doing the tap. I like to go stand on it and shoot. Jeff did the same thing. Can't really tell because John's doing the same thing. Daniel also pulls his foot back off. Sam taps it and keeps going. He doesn't really stop and sets up closer to it, the other side of the activator. Amy also does a little bit of a tap. It's kind of a personal preference. The thing that I like to think about with this is to kind of have your gun up and ready to go when you activate it. So you see Zoe down there activates it and then brings her gun up. Honestly, so does Amy, but Amy's so fast at acquiring targets and pulling the trigger. She trains quite a lot on that she does an amazing job. Same thing with Eric. He's activated it right there, and he's not quite on, and still gets a shot off super, super early. So I think, you know, it really does matter whatever's most comfortable for you. There's several different versions of this. So whatever you're used to, but I think it can't hurt to have, you know, as you're approaching it, have your sights on where that target is about to show up. You see John also just brings it up and rips it out. John, by the way, is the second one down on the left, on the right, excuse me, second one down on the right. All of those guys, I mean, I got my gun up, and I've got dot trust issues. You see, I could have taken a shot way sooner than I did, especially middle on the left there. You can actually see what I'm seeing, and I don't take a shot for a little bit. I mean, I don't wait for it to come totally up for my first shot, but anyways, I don't know what you can really get from that. I like to just try to see different techniques on the props, and you know, I always kind of thought stepping on it and shooting from there with your gun up would make you faster. And I think it is super helpful, but I mean, some of these guys are kind of proving me wrong. I mean, Amy and Eric are really good shooters, so is Sam with their different techniques. John acquired that really fast. So I don't know what we really learned from that, but it's kind of cool to see all the different techniques going through the props, and hopefully it'll help you pick up a second or two if you ever see these, when you see these props again. See you guys around.